Today's events kicked off this morning with a number of church services around the city. A service at the historic Brown Chapel got heated after comments were made about photo identification requirements for voter registration. WSFA 12 News reporter Morgan Young was in Selma this morning and has more on what was said and why it led to such a strong reaction.
It's a historic place where many black voting rights activists came to plan their next move. It's where the leaders of today came together to honor them. Reverend Jesse Jackson, Congresswoman Terri Sewell, and Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill were amongst the honorees at the church service. Speeches focused on the history of voting rights for the black community and the importance of voting access and equality today. Secretary Merrill actually brought 2 voter registration tables with him so that anyone who wanted to get registered in the state of Alabama could do so at the Jubilee on Sunday. But it's what he said during the service.
Every eligible U.S. citizen that's a resident of Alabama is registered to vote and has a photo ID so they can participate.
That caused audience members to fire back.
We made all 67 counties throughout the state of Alabama.
Some leaving the church during Merrill's speech. Among the people who walked out was North Carolina NAACP President Dr. William Barber, who says voter ID laws have already been deemed unconstitutional in other states.
How do you then come here and lift it up and try to normalize it and make it as though it's just another argument to the side?
He says it was disrespectful of Secretary Merrill to bring it up in front of people who are fighting against Alabama's voter ID laws.
Too much blood is on the pews of that church and in these walls for us to sit there and not at least say, excuse me, not cursing, but excuse me, Mr. Secretary of State, you're wrong. And you should not be here. If you want to promote it somewhere, but not here.
Other protesters actually briefly stood in front of the voter registration tables in opposition of the law. Despite tension, service leaders called for peace, unity, and activism, despite a difference in opinion.
If we do not protect the gains of the past, we will lose the gains of the past.
It's that idea that some visitors say brought them to Selma.
It's a place where we can focus on the fact that there is so much injustice still and there's so much left to be done, and we don't want to sit apart from it and watch it happen. We want to be able to find a way to get involved.
Morgan Young, WSFA 12 News.
Merrill stated during his speech that Alabama wants to make it easier, not harder, for residents to vote and is brainstorming ways to make registration and getting a photo ID accessible to everyone.